Hello everybody, it's Josie here. I am filming this video today and publishing today. I was going to publish a different video, but I'll do that next week, because I thought the current state of the world, the madness that is the coronavirus and what it's caused, and a lot of people I know are kind of staying in by choice or have been forcibly quarantined or quarantining themselves or are self-isolating and socially distancing to help kind of contain the spread of the virus, which means, you know, we're staying indoors, people are looking for something to do. Now, if you're a reader, if you like books, you can read more, which is not necessarily the worst thing. And I found myself as a reader, I like longer books. So when I say longer, I mean around, 500 pages plus or longer series. But I always find that I want to do them in like a chunk. So when you're really busy and you're rushing in and out and that, I don't necessarily like putting them down and picking them up and putting them down and picking them up. I like having a nice stretch of time where I can get a good chunk of the book down or a good chunk of the series down. And I think, now is the perfect time. And I'm going to tell you about some that I have read, that I've enjoyed, that I recommend, but also what I'm planning on reading when I've got, quite a bit of time this weekend to just stay in and, get through these larger books and series. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off with the first one. I think this one's just under 500 pages, but it's a big one and it's a big book as well. So, it is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I know there's some split ideas or thoughts on this book. I really loved it. It is about secret societies at university. There's magic, there's ghosts, there's blood rituals, there's a protagonist who is very morally grey and I love her, and she has kind of an interesting backstory, and I'm really hoping the second book comes out soon. And this is an adult book from Leigh Bardugo as well. I really enjoyed this, and I think it's a good one. Also because I think some of the comments were that the narrative was a bit confusing. So I think ideal if you're going to be sitting down for a stretch of time, sort of uninterrupted, and really get into the meat of the book. So I think this is a good one, to start off with. Then the next one is a book that I read many years ago, and I'm just kind of checking it's over 500 pages, like 530 pages. And I bought myself you can see it's a lovely battered secondhand copy of this book, again, because I want to reread it. So this is kind of on my reread list, and I'll probably be doing it over the next few weeks. And this is Season of the Witch by Natasha Mostert. Natasha is a South African author, which is where I grew up. So that's what kind of initially drew me to the book. Like I said, I've read this years ago. But it's this really interesting... oh God, this is so hard to describe. So you've got the main character, Gabriel. I believe he's a journalist. No, he's a computer hacker by trade. Okay. Okay. He's trying to find... Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. I had to remind myself. Sorry, that's really bad. So he's a hacker and he's trying to find his ex-girlfriend's son who's gone missing. And he kind of follows the trail to try and find this man. And he stumbles upon these three sisters in this house. And it is a fascinating kind of thriller, mystery. It revolves around memory palaces. So memories in your brain. There's sort of supernatural element. It is amazing. I loved this book when I read it. And I think I actually read it twice. But I mean, when I say years ago, I mean like 10, 12, maybe even more years ago when I first read it. And it's definitely one that I'll be rereading, and I'll probably be doing an entire review on this just because I really did love it the first time, and I'm hoping that I'm going to love it again. But again, it's one where you really kind of have to get into the story and immerse yourself in it, a bit like Ninth House. So I think this will be a great one to kind of really just get in and spend a couple of hours or more just reading, getting into the book. Then the next one I'm going to recommend is a series, and that is this series here. So we've got Kings of the Wild and Bloody Rose. Now, I have read Bloody Rose. Essentially, Kings of the Wild is the first book and Bloody Rose is the second one, but you can read this independently because I did, and I love this. I think I mentioned this book a lot. I love it. It's one of my favourite fantasy books. It has a wonderful kick-ass Bloody Rose protagonist and her band of mercenaries. It's a great queer representation in this. And it's this band that goes around and they fight demons for hire, and then they come across a big bad and they have to fight it. And there's some cool battle scenes, there's some funny writing. I love the characters. I love the relationships. I love the queer element in that. And I like the fact that, you got kick-ass women in this one. And this one, which I've just found, as you can see there, for £1, I think, £1.50, in the charity shop, is Kings of the Wild. And this is actually the first book. So these are both by Nicholas Eames. And I believe this is Bloody Rose's father, his band. And Bloody Rose, I think, gets kidnapped and they have to go and rescue her in this book. And it's, yeah, because it says glory never gets old. So I think this is about like a bunch of older guys kind of like, but like is it the Expendables? Is it that one? Kind of coming together, or Red, coming together to fight this, like, to go and rescue his daughter and like get together and fight one last time. So I think this will be good. Some of the reviews I've read say it's really funny, it's really good, so I'm looking forward to it. And this Bloody Rose, I think, is just over 500 pages, and this one is 491. So together, the two of them, 1,000 pages of fantasy fighting snarky goodness in here. So I'm definitely reading this one, and I'll probably reread Bloody Rose after that as well, because I love it. Then the next ones I'm going to recommend is also a series. So speaking of kick-ass females, I just can't do a video without I'm trying to hold them all up. There you go, J. Kristoff's Nevernight series. This is just one of my favorites. I love them so much. I'm trying to hold them all, they're very heavy. So again, you have lots and lots and lots of pages to read. If you have not read Nevernight, it is about Mia Colvert. She is an assassin. So in the first book, she is training to be an assassin. So she's essentially, what drives her is avenging her family's death. And she goes to assassin school in the first one, which is loads of fun. Second one, God's Grave, she goes out and there's like a gladiatorial aspect in this one, which I love. Also, Mia Colvert is bisexual, and there is some wonderful relationship, especially in the last two books. The last book being Dark Dawn broke my heart. These books will break you. They'll make you laugh. I love the snarkiness. I love the shadow animals. I love Mia Colvert, super, super grey main character. I love Ashlyn, super, super grey interest. And it's just, I love the series. And, you know, if you've got a lot of time spare, you could read them back to back and just enjoy the entire series again. So might be something I'm doing. Then the next series, these aren't all the books in the series, and I believe this is the first one. So, let me turn that around. A Kiss of Shadows. Now, I've never really spoken about Laurell K. Hamilton on my series, have I? No, I don't think I have. So Laurell K. Hamilton, who is the author of the series, and I've got 4 of the books here. And the reason I've got 4 of the books, I'll show you all of them, is because I found them in a charity shop. So you can see they're not consistent covers, and there's only 4. There's loads in the series. But Laurell K. Hamilton is an author that I adored when I was a teenager, in my late teens, early 20s. She writes the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, which I love. She also writes the series, which is the Mary Gentry series, and this is set in fairy, so you've got the Seelie and the Unseelie court. These are very adult, so I would say this is the adult version of Holly Black's Cruel Prince, which I've just listened to on audio, which I really love, by the way. So I really love Holly Black, but Laurell K. Hamilton, very adult. There is a lot of sexual content in these books, let me just say. So if you want fairy sex, these are the books for you. I really like them. So Mary Gentry is a princess of the sea. Is she the Unseelie or the Seelie? It's a good question. I did read these a while ago. Of one of the fairy courts. I feel like it's the Unseelie. Anyway, so she's a princess of fairy, but she kind of goes into the human world and she runs and works for a detective agency. And then she's kind of dragged back into court politics, and she takes various lovers, and it's all kind of court intrigue. And like I said, there's a lot of sex in these. But actually the storylines are very cool as well. I like the kind of detective element of it. And yeah, I remember really enjoying these books when I first read them. And like I said, bear in mind, these years and years ago. But because I saw them not that long ago in a charity shop, and I was like, you know what? I want to read them again. So this is the perfect time for kind of binging on the series. There are loads of these books. And also Laurell K. Hamilton's Anita Blake of Vampire Hunter. That is a fantastic series if you like vampires and vampire hunting and you sort of paranormal, urban, sci-fi, romancy type books. They're great as well. But yeah, this is a series that I will possibly be binging on in the next few weeks, months. And then, ones that I'm definitely reading, and these are the ones that I'm definitely reading soon, are these two. So let's finish with the series. So, Dread Nation and, what's the other one called? Deathless Divide. So first of all, I love these covers. They're beautiful. Look at them. So this is Justina Island. Again, these books are, this is 450 pages, and I think this is 530, so 1,000 pages of zombie apocalyptic kick-ass girls, women of colour being represented here goodness. These are YA books. So I don't know too much about it, but I just know that you've got the main character who is sent into combat. There's a zombie element, I believe, in these books, which is great, which I love. And I've been told that the second book has a queer romance, which I'm really hoping for. So I just think they sound fantastic. It's kind of like a Wild Westy type of element as well. So I've seen these around all the time, and I thought, oh, what better time now than to buy both of them, because this one's just come out, which is the second book. And like I said, 1,000 pages worth of goodness. I'm just going to read these back to back. And again, I will do a review once I've read them. Let me know if you have, because I'd love to know what your thoughts are, but I'm really excited about these. And then another book I'm really excited about. Sarah J. Maas. So, Crescent City, this is House of Earth and Blood. This is hefty, as you can tell. And I thought, you know, I think it's like 800 pages long. Why not? Why not do it now? So because I rediscovered the Lorica Hamilton books, and I've been listening to a lot of Holly Black and actually reading Holly Black as well, I was like, you know what, I'm really getting into fairy, and I believe this one, again, this is adult, so this is Sarah J. Maas's adult release. I believe this revolves around a fairy in the human world as well, so it sort of echoes of that Lorica Hamilton Mary Gentry series that I was talking about, if what I've heard about this is true, because I don't want to read too much into it. I just want to kind of go into it, you know, and enjoy it. And kind of some intrigue, and someone dies and she investigates, and, you know, you've got the courts, the fairy courts. That's what I believe this is about. I hope that's what it is about, because that's what I like. It is a beautiful book. I opened that up. Isn't that beautiful inside? So yes, so it says Bryce Quinlan is partying all night in clubs with shifters, human and fae. Yeah, 2 years later, when the supposed killer's behind bars and a demon murders her close friend and she helps investigate. Yeah, so it does actually remind me a little bit of that Mary Gentry series, which I really loved. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've got my fingers crossed, got high hopes that this is going to be really good. And obviously I'll do a review on this as well, but I think this and the Justina Island books are the ones that I'm going to get to first, and then the others are going to be depending on how long we'll be staying in. So yes, so that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm recommending. Let me know what you're doing, what you're reading, what big books or long series or something that you enjoy, particularly based on what I've just recommended. And thank you all for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you all again very soon. Bye-bye.